I think I said it in the Cavs attack video or podcast that I did with Ab, and I think it's worth saying again. We get into the flow of the season and we kind of forget what that feels like every year, even though we do it every year. And every season for every team has its ebbs and flows. You're going to have some great periods where your team's hot. You won 9 out of your last 10. You're going to have periods where you win 6 out of your last 10, or you go 5-5 or 4-4. And just to bring this up to people who have been freaking out, and like I put up a couple videos where I saw some issues with the Cavs that I was concerned with. But if we go through the whole NBA, out of teams in their last 10, there are the Clippers, the Suns, the Timberwolves, and then the Bucks and the 76ers. Those are 5 teams. Those are the only teams that have won like 7 of their last 10. It's not a very common thing, right? Most teams are at 5-5 of their last 10, or 4-6, or something like that. And that's where the Cavs are. And it's also worth noting that, like, hey, the Cavs are 33-22, and the team below them, the Heat, 29-25. A little bit of a different situation than last year. A little bit of a different situation. This is a very good Cavs team, and I felt like they were slumping. I don't think they are slumping anymore, and I think there are some very interesting developments. One of the things I like about the last 2 games for the Cavaliers is that they haven't needed a 72-point game for all intents and purposes from Donovan Mitchell to be successful on the floor. They haven't needed incredible efforts from Darius Garland. I'm going to show this box score on screen. This is the Cleveland Cavaliers box score. And what I find to be interesting is you get 17-10 from Evan Mobley, 17-10-4. One quick side note before I finish my point. We talk about this stuff that Evan Mobley is doing in year 2 off 12 shots as if it's not impressive offensively. This is some of the most impressive we've seen. It's just we've seen LeBron, dog. So like we have in Kyrie. So we have a skewed view of what a second-year player should look like. This is incredible. 17-10-4. He's been doing this lately a lot. This ain't the only time he's done this in the week. Evan Mobley is putting together an offensive game. He's getting more confident in his strength in the interior. And the brother's got post moves. Like, he's got some moves. That's the best play in that draft, man. Cade Cunningham's cool. Jalen Green seems really good. Evan Mobley is looking like the clear-cut best player in that draft. There is no 17-10-4. But he had 17-10-4. Not to be lost, Jared Allen also had 18-13. No assist, but 18-13. And then, of course, they both provided great defense. And then you get this Isaac Okoro stat line, which is like, man, oh, man. You know, he's not going to shoot like this every night. But if he could just be half this, we would feel good. Now, I'm in a weird place with Isaac, right? Because me personally, I worry less about Isaac's limitations as a scorer and more of the limitations of his size at that wing position. I don't think he has the length there, and I think that's going to hurt him against some of the bigger threes that you're going to go up against in the East. And I would hate for him to make all of this development just to realize that he's too small of a player at that position for the Cavaliers in the role they need him to play. But I do fear that is the case with him. But he's been playing well, and that's the important part. Donovan Mitchell, inefficient, 19 today, 6 of 18. He's been off. It's clear his groin is bothering him. I don't know what the medical advice is, but it seems to me, idiot in a chair, he should be sitting. For some reason, he's not. I'm going to trust the medical staff there. Um, Darius Garland, 24 points off 13 shots. He's been incredible ever since they told him he wasn't an all-star. 24 and 6 today. He's just been very good. The bench even showed up today. Ricky Rubio was 7. Okay, Rolo got crunch late minutes. Jetty with 9, Dean Wade with 6. It's not a ton of points, but that's the kind of production you need from your bench. It's starting to be crystallized that the bench rotation is going to be some form of Jetty, Dean Wade, and Ricky Rubio, maybe Kevin Love gets put in there. I think they're resting him so he can kind of get re-energized for the second half of the season. But that's going to be the main stretch of guys, I think, going forward. And I don't mind that decision there. I also like to point out, I think the offense flows better when Karras just isn't playing. And that's a tough conversation the Cavs are going to have. They really thought Karras was going to be a big piece for this team. And Karras is a very talented player. But the issues that we have with Karras right now is that we don't get these kind of games from Evan Mobley. And I don't think it's a mistake that if you look at the discourse of when we've been talking about Evan Mobley being disappointing on offense from a point averages standpoint, it almost exactly tracks with Karis LeVert's arrival on the Cavaliers. Like, almost exactly. Like, that's when we started to have concerns about Evan's offense. All of a sudden, now Karis leaves. He's able to get 12 to 15 shots a game. He's putting up close to 17 to 22 when he gets those attempts. I think there's something to be said about how Karis stops the ball. And look, I have a difficult time having this conversation because he is a good player if you just look at the stat sheet. But if you watch how the offense flows with them, it feels like hating and it sounds like hating, but like there's real proof. If you just look at the plus and minuses, it doesn't flow right with him because he's not like Jetty. He's going to shoot. He's not going to stop, dribble, and try to get a drive. Jetty is all downhill momentum. So he's not really a ball stopper. He might take too many shots, but if you don't pass it to him, he's not getting the ball. Karis LeVert is a little bit different. He's kind of inevitable on the offensive end. So he's going to get 6 or 8 shots. And you got to get those shots from somewhere. And they tend to come from Evan Mobley. You tend to not get the production out of Jared Allen and Evan Mobley that you're accustomed to getting when you don't have him out there. This offense, this team, this roster fits better when he's just not out there. I don't know what they do with that. Maybe they find a trade for him, but I think that's true at this point with Karis. But I think the defense is better, quite honestly, because you give Isaac Okoro more minutes. I think you're just a better team, period, without Karis LeVert. And that's not saying Karis LeVert is such a bad player that you can't be a good team with Karis LeVert on it. It's just on this specific team with this specific roster, it's just not meshing. His style is just not meshing what they need. Even coming off the bench, since they staggered Darius and Donovan now, like those 3 minutes or 5 minutes a game that they're both not going to be out there, you can live with that being Ricky Rubio and those guys out there. So I just don't know what Karas's role is going forward. And I don't know how he can be on the team right now and make the team better while getting minutes. I just don't see it. I don't see it. I think it's better for him to be on a different team. I think it's better for the Cavs for him to be on a different team. And it sucks. Karras seemed like a great dude, but I just don't think it's working out. But that's my thoughts on the Cavs. It seems like they're getting on the road, beat two teams by like plus 15 points back to back. Looks good. Let's see if they continue it. Thank you for watching. Y'all have a great day. Have an even better night.